Hey, Little Boo Bar says we're live. Today is Saturday, the 29th of December, 2018. We have our Patricia on the panel and the lovely DITRH, who's going to talk about his Sun and Moon app. So hi, guys, and chat room. Hello, chat room.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Karen. Everyone. Thanks for having me on.
So, Patricia's saying something. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Dave. So,
Hello,
very quickly,
everyone.
You had a nice festive time?
Are you talking to me now?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
It's always nice to have time off with the family and doing some fun stuff. Went to a concert with the kids last night and had a great time.
Hey. Yeah, and it's nearly over now. Well, we've got New Year, I suppose, haven't we?
That's right.
It's just nice for little kids, isn't it? I don't think it means the same to us. Anyway, I didn't even have to cook this year. I went to my son's, so that was quite nice.
Very
anyway,
good.
We are joined here today to talk about your new app and some changes or things that you're doing and other places it's going. So I suppose really, maybe it's best if people haven't got the app, I've got the app, is to just talk about what the app is, first of all.
Sure, and if people have the app, I want to do a little demonstration of a feature on the app that I think is very cool. But the app is basically a depiction of the flat Earth. You know, I am using the AE map, and we all know that the globe side and the flat Earth side doesn't have a perfect map, but the circle map, in my opinion, is the way the flat Earth works, where the sun's circling around, and we have a preponderance of evidence to support that. So I chose to use the AE map because it does show you where the sun and moon is on the face of a 24-hour clock. So the name of the app, if you don't have it, most of you probably know it already. It's called the Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock. If you go to the Apple App Store and just search Flat Earth Sun or just even Flat Earth, I think it's the #1 hit. But on Google Play, it's a little more difficult so far to find it. You have to type in Flat Earth Sun with no spaces. And that's the only way it comes up. Otherwise, it's hundreds down or 100, 150 down in the results if it shows up at all. So it's a lot of fun. The trolls absolutely hate it. And if you haven't seen it, this is it right here. I'll show it to you. And the great thing is you can put on a fast time lapse, which will show you how the seasons work. If you watch the sun over the next 60 to 90 spins, it'll go to the equator, and then again it'll move all the way into the Tropic of Cancer. And it's a really great way to show people when you're talking flat Earth with them how seasons work. Where does the sun go, and how is it day and night? And it's really a great conversation adder. I don't want to say it's a starter because you got to break it out, but it is actually a starter. So it's a lot of fun. Have you tried using it, Karen?
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you, is that somebody on the question asked, how do the seasons work on your app?
Right. So I'll explain it for anyone. Most flat Earth researchers understand that.
Dougie Dave, cool. Dougie Dave asked the question. So,
yeah. So here, let me explain. Right now, we're right around the winter solstice, and if you look at the sun, it's on that outer yellow line, which is known as the Tropic of Capricorn. So if you look at it, it's over the outer southern hemiplane landmasses: South America, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and they're in the height of their summer right now. So over the next 3 months, it'll start migrating up that hour hand to the red line, which is the equator, for the equinox in March. And then another 3 months later, it'll be over the inner northern Tropic of Cancer, which is our summer. If you look at the inner northern hemiplane places, the sun is literally closer to us. Right now, I'm looking at this. I'm going to stop the time lapse. And This is set from my time zone. So the app will ask for your location so it can set your time zone at the bottom. And literally it's 12 noon. I'm on the East Coast of America, and you can see that the sun is above me. The sun is not very high in the sky in December here. But so if you imagine yourself standing on the East Coast of America and looking at that sun on this map, the sun is away, and we all know what away does. It brings it down. So the sun is low in the sky. But if you look at the sun 6 months from now, it'll be over the inner yellow line. And you look at it from the East Coast of America, you look at it, it's going to be much closer and higher in the sky. And that simply explains what we see and the heating and cooling of the earth. The whole tilted thing is complete, utter nonsense. And I can get into that more if you want. That makes sense?
Yep, get into it a bit more then.
So, we're told that the tilt of the earth, so here's the sun, and the northern part of the earth is on the top. So we're tilted towards, and we're getting more direct sunlight. So I don't know how to do it with my fist. So here's the sun, and we're tilted towards it. So we're getting more sun. And when we're tilted away, that's our winter. Okay? Naki, do you have to? And it's because the light is spread over, but that makes absolutely no sense. Come on. That makes absolutely no sense, because if it was the slight tilt of the earth that caused seasons, then why isn't it at sunrise every day arctically freezing? Because that is the most severe angle where the sunlight is skimming across the earth and it isn't hitting anything direct. But in June, when it's over the Tropic of Cancer, I can get up in the morning and watch the sunrise. And as soon as the sun appears on the horizon, I could feel the heat on my face. Today, right now, I can go out and stare at the sun at its highest point for today, and I can't even feel the heat at all. I mean, almost zero. And that's not because of the angle, but because of the distance of the sun. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. It's like having a heat lamp. Get a heat lamp and move it closer to your hand, and then move it away from your hand. Tilt it back and forth. See what that does. Move it closer and move it away. When the sun is out of the outer Tropic of Capricorn, it's heating up those outer lands. And the reason the tropics, which are all of the land in between Cancer and Capricorn, are tropical is because the sun never gets too far away from them. It's always teeter-tottering over them. So it's always keeping them tropical. It's only when it goes way outwards, anything inwards, north of the Tropic of Capricorn, will be farther away from the sun and experiencing its winter, and the opposite for the outer southern hemiplane, as I like to call it.
Can I put one of the other questions I've got in for this? I'm just going to my emails to get his name up. His name's called the Three Newman. He lives in Queensland, or that area down there, New Queensland. And basically, I saw a video of his where he's basically saying that he lives beyond the Tropic of Capricorn and the sun is coming up souther than that. And it has to be a lot more souther because it's got to go from New Zealand up. And then he's saying he knows that he flies south to go to New Zealand because he's been there before. But he said what he was trying to say was that he couldn't see how any of the maps worked right now because he's walked away now. But he can hear. Basically, he felt that the Gleason map worked up there, but it didn't work where he was. And there was also something else he mentioned on his video, that in the winter, the sun comes up and goes down in the sky in a short distance. In the summer, it just sort of comes across more south and is going up and across. It doesn't go right across his sky. He can see it go up and go down in a short distance in the sky. So I just wonder what that meant for... Yeah.
So there's explaining. I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. There's two domes, so to speak. I believe that the Earth is covered with a dome. You want to call it glass? You want to call it electromagnetic zone, water, whatever you want to call it. There's a dome that everything is projected, for lack of a better word, through. And then when we're on the Earth, we have our own personal viewing dome. kind of like this. So not that this is just representing atmosphere. It's glass. And if you're standing in the middle of this, you're going to see the sun. Where's my light? Hold on. You're going to see the sun. See if I can show you this. In your personal dome of view. So if I go like this, I got the sun above the dome. Can you see the sun inside the dome? Can you guys see that?
Yes, sorry, I was muted because I'm listening, but yes.
Yeah. So it's hard to see it, but like right now I'm looking at it. I've got the light like this, and I see what looks like a sun floating in the middle of this dome, not on the outside of it, but that's our personal viewing dome. And everyone has their own personal viewing dome. And so when you're in the south or in the north, you're going to see the sun relative to your personal zone. The other issue is when people say the sun should be north of me and I'm seeing it south of me when I look to the west at sunset. That's because people don't realize that south and east are circles. So here's the United States, right? And we all know that if I go from the East Coast to the West Coast, I'm going west. Everyone agree? Karen? Right?
Yeah, with what they're telling us, yeah.
Yeah. So, but if I continue that line straight, I'm going south. So when you look to the west, you're looking south. The only thing that's west of you is right in front of your face. The farther away you go, the farther south it is. And this is true on a ball earth and on a globe earth. East and west, this is west. When you go west, you need to stay equidistant from the center point on a globe and on a flat earth, okay? So this is west. You can't look in a circle. You can travel in a circle and not even know it. I mean, if you're flying, you would never even notice the slight adjustments you have to make to maintain your distance from the center North Pole. So when you look and see the sun, you know, where it is, there's two things. One, you're not looking south. And the other is you're not taking into account the optics of the sky, which are very, very, you know, we can't go there. It's hard to really show it because we're all brought up with this heliocentric physical ball model. And that's what people are thinking in, when in reality, I don't believe that the sun is a physical object. I don't believe that it's hundreds of miles away. I think it's much closer than that. The sun that we see. So like right now, I'm in Connecticut, and people in basically the same longitude as me are in Florida. But if the sun was only, you know, 100 miles above me, how are people in Florida seeing it? It would be way, you know, it'd be 3,000 miles away, 100 miles up. They're seeing the same sun in their personal dome of vision. Make sense?
Yeah,
there's really a lot to it, and also the optics of the sun that we see. I'm waiting for a product that I just ordered that's coming right after New Year's that I think is going to enlighten some other possibilities of where the sun is coming from, which might not be up in the sky. I'm gonna do this test, and I'm gonna make a video. And if it works the way I think it's gonna work, and I'm pretty sure it is, it's gonna have some people scratching their head. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
So every time you are saying west, you're actually saying south.
When get a globe or a flat earth model and draw any straight line on it, and every straight line is south. Even if you go north, once you pass the North Pole, you're going south. If you go west, a straight line is south. The only place on a globe that a straight line is not south is exactly on the equator. Then you'll make the great circle. And then you could also argue in the south, if you go draw a straight line, it's going to go north. Okay. But that's all just theory, and there's no proof of it. there's actually proof. There's actually evidence of ship's captains always having to correct to the north on when they're trying to dead reckon at 90 degrees or 270 degrees, which is east and west. They always have to correct to the north, and the correction is so slight that they don't even you don't even realize it, except if you have your ship set to go dead straight and you come back 2 hours later and you're off course. You could say it's currents, it's wind. It's easy to write off. And if you don't believe me, like somebody was basically fighting to defend the ball and they don't understand the flat Earth model or the ball model, but they're saying that ships have circumnavigated Antarctica with Antarctica they've gone west or east around Antarctica. Antarctica's on the right, and they were constantly turning to the right. And I call BS on that, because there's no possible way you would even notice the turn on something that was only a couple hundred miles around. And an example of this is the next time you're in your car and you're driving on a long highway that has a curve to it, a curve over a mile, where let's say if that curve kept going, the radius of the curve would be just a couple of miles before it became a full circle. You don't even notice the tiny little corrections you're making to make that turn. You're not turning the wheel. You're just you're just barely touching it. And that's with frames of reference to your left and right that's letting you know that you're turning. Take that up in the air, make it on a scale bigger. There's no way to tell that you're turning other than a compass or GPS telling you what you're doing.
Anyway, I put a video out myself, but again, we all know that NASA lies and everything, don't we? But they were actually showing the sun doing a clock. It was going round like a clock.
Yeah, well, the sun, that's what my app shows. Also, it's kind of blown out. You can't really see it. I have it on the Apple TV, which you set it with a nice background, and it's
very
actually
nice.
It's pretty cool. Where people, when we're hanging out, people look at it. You can know where the time is. I'm also adding Just Jack, I think, asked me. I'm going to add. It has your local weather, sunrise and sunset. I'm going to add moonrise and moonset. So you know when to catch the moon just when it's rising by without having to look for the data elsewhere. So that's coming in the next update.
Okay, and then there was another question. So Ursel Patterson wrote in the questions under the post. Doesn't know if he can change the temperature to Fahrenheit. Maybe he's not figuring it out right.
Yes, it's a little confusing, and I actually thought it was backwards. But in the top right hand corner, if you're looking at it, and you got to click the opposite. Like if it says C, you're looking at F. So click the C, and it'll switch to F, or click the F in the upper right hand corner. It's that simple.
Oh, that is quite simple then, isn't it?
And then also a lot of people, if you go into settings, we have, I think it's 33 different backgrounds. Don't shoot me on that. It just happened. If you scroll down in the settings there, you can change it to a 24-hour face, because some people are complaining, why you have a 12-hour clock. And I like the 12-hour clock because when I look at it, I can see that it's 3:15 in the afternoon rather than 15:15 and have to do the math in my head. But you can change the face. You can put your countdown timer in there to either the next conference or your vacation, whatever you want. So that's kind of nice. What else does it have? And then it has the daily, the normal and daily time lapse, which is fun. I'm going to bring up a question that no one's asked yet, but people are asking. I put out the iPhone app first, and it was a free download. But if you want the time lapse features and the backgrounds, it's $2.99, and that's the way it was. The Android app actually cost me a lot more, and we're talking a lot of money. And because of the response that I was getting, the trolls went in onto Apple, and they can download it for free and leave a review. And the reviews, doesn't help. When you get a lot of one-star reviews and a bunch of just silly ball, arguments, these people believe we live on a spinning ball. So what are they going to say about my app? so I decided to make the Android app $2.99. If you want to download it, it's $2.99. And people that are complaining about that, what I say to you is, have you ever bought anybody a half a beer in a bar, or a cup of coffee at a gourmet shop? Because that's a lot more than this app. And and I'm also offering, if anybody wants to pay my developer bill, I'll gladly put both of the apps out for free. Okay, so that's why it costs $2.99. And if that's too much of a burden for you, I'm sorry, but if you get an iPhone, you can have it for free. So there you go. Still there?
What's the actual difference between what you get free and what you get when you've bought the app? Obviously, the background is one of them, isn't it?
The background, and then the time lapses, because the time lapses are really, when you break it out, when you're talking to somebody and you show them, you're talking about the flat Earth, and they're like, what does it look like? How does seasons work? You break it out, you talk to them, and then when you turn on the time lapse, you can have a discussion with them, and the sun will start migrating inwards, and you could say, see, now it's equinox, and it even shows you the day-light pattern, which I want to talk about actually. But on the equinox, it's half day and half night, which is equal day and equal night. The equinoxes. So you have an equinox in September and March, and it shows you, how there's a 24-hour sun in the inner northern, like northern Alaska, during the summer, during the Tropic of Cancer, during June and outwards. And it shows you how there's not a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, but there is very long days. So I put a video up. If you go to my channel, anyone that hasn't seen it yet, and it's called, what is it called? It's called, it's somebody said that you can't, that they say that where is it? They say that the light patterns that time and date show, when you convert it to the AE map, make flat Earth impossible. And I say, actually, it proves flat Earth. It's the fourth video up. It's called Day and Night on a Flat Earth Debunked. And it shows somebody using this dome and shining a light on it and comparing it to the actual day and night via time and date. And it actually shows how that happens. So the optics of our personal dome and the real dome do make this light wrap around. I also believe that it's the magnetic fields of the Earth that could also be wrapping the daylight around. I don't know if you guys all follow Dan Dimensions. I actually had him as one of the featured videos just the other day. And it shows how magnetic forces, how he can create daylight in, like star in a jar type thing. It actually creates daylight. He compares it to some balloon footage that he has. It's amazing. And it shows how it wraps around with these magnetic fields. So there's really so much to learn about this. And, the more you learn, the more you realize that all of these things that the ballers claim debunk the flat Earth actually prove the flat Earth.
Do you see the chat room at all?
I do.
There was a question in there from Zulone. He said, is there any way to stop the clock to see a specific day?
You know what? I'm checking with my developer to see if when you're doing the time lapse, if you stop it, it'll stay where it is. It does reset right now, but that could be an update in the future. So can't really do that yet. But I am constantly trying to come up with improvements. I love what people suggesting, like Just Jack said to add the moonrise and set. I think that's a great idea, and I could easily do that. So there you go. It's super fun to have when you're out talking to people. It's also fun, if you turn it on, it won't time out, and you can put it on your desk, plug it in the charger, and it's a desk clock. It looks great when you, and you know what I found about it, which I really love, is that I'll look at it and I'll see that the moon's coming up, and I'll go out and look up and catch the moon when it's right on the horizon. You know, when I normally wouldn't have caught it, because I'm looking at it all the time, I'm like, oh, the moon's over there, and I'll turn around and there's the moon. So that actually, it's always fun when you see the moon for some reason. So
how did you get it to match up for everybody then?
Well, everyone, when you download the app, it asks for your location. So it puts it puts your location at the bottom, and the sun is where the sun is for all of us at the same time. It just puts your location at the bottom, and the sun is always where the sun is.
And also, you said you were going to talk about day patterns.
About what I said I was going to talk about? Day
patterns.
Yeah. So I was talking about how the sun, the light wraps around the dome. That could be because it's fluorescing the dome or wrapping around it. Like there's people that have done experiments with a metal bowl, and you bring the light towards the edge of the bowl, and the light wraps around. It could be more than that, though. It could be part of that, and also the magnetic fields bending the light. But just simply by taking one of these and shining a light on it, you can see where day and night happen, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, I'm not saying it proves the flat Earth. It proves that it can happen on a flat Earth. So that's you know, I am still looking for something that makes flat Earth impossible, and I can't find it. I can't find anything. You know, the ballers, you know, people will just claim, you know, that the sun would never set on a flat Earth, therefore the Earth can't be flat. That's because they haven't learned about perspective. Today, I was down at the shoreline. We're taking a walk, and we have white fluffy clouds all spread out, and you could see the blue between them. But as they go into the distance, because, you know, you're looking at them like this, you know, when you're if you're looking straight up, and then as they go into the distance, you're getting blocked. So you're not seeing those spaces because they're marching together and creating an opaque cloud deck. Well, those clouds blocked all of the sun maybe 15, 20 miles away. Add another 20 miles to that opaque cloud deck merges with the horizon and is indistinguishable with your eyes. Okay. So I'm sure anyone that's been doing this for a while gets the ball logic, where they go, if the sun, you know, disappeared due to perspective, you'd be able to zoom in on it again, just like you can on a boat. Well, that's not true, because here you are on the Earth plane, and here is the cloud deck, okay? And it's this high. But when that cloud deck goes into the distance, it merges with the Earth plane, even though it's still really over you. Okay, so now you have this cloud deck merging with the horizon. And when you take your sun and you bring your sun into the distance, the sun, as it goes into the distance, is going to go down, 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 down. And it goes behind this cloud deck that is thousands of feet over your head, and the sun becomes invisible. Now, the sun is a celestial object above the cloud deck. Okay. You are a terrestrial observer below it. Okay. A boat is a terrestrial object on the Earth plane. So here's the water, everything crunches together, and a boat disappears because its angular resolution is too small. But if you take your P900 or P1000 and zoom in on it, you're going to increase that angular resolution, and bam, there's your boat again, because you've increased the angular resolution. The problem with the sun is, here's the cloud deck and the Earth plane have merged together due to perspective. The sun is above it, you're below it. So zooming in and increasing this gap does nothing for what's blocked behind it. So zooming in on a celestial object, when you're in between the lower objects, you'll never see it. It's opaque. And you could have the Hubble telescope hooked up to your P1000, and you're still not going to get it, because it's physically impossible.
This whole thing is really strange, though, because I've been just following as well Wise Up, and he's not the only person, but he just caught this really amazing sun disappearing in front of you. It actually just disappeared. It actually just completely disappeared a few miles away from him. And everybody is seeing that in their own perspective. So this thing we're living in is just absolutely bananas, incredible, supernatural. It's just, if you know what I mean, like 10 miles up the road, the sun will then disappear for you, just like it disappeared for me. And maybe it's a couple of minutes, whatever it is, but it will do the same thing for you. Obviously, lots of us can't see it because of the houses or hills or something like that. But it does look like the sun actually goes into the ground or the water if you can see it at that point.
Yeah, the most people don't see the sunset due to it going behind the cloud deck, because they have trees, mountains, houses, hills, everything in their way, which eclipses it first. But if you don't, you get people like, you know, Flat Freddy or whatever, who film the sun setting over the water. You're looking at the water horizon. It looks like a clear sky. It looks like the water. But even on a perfectly clear day, that atmosphere adds up and creates a opaque barrier. So you're on the ground. You're on the ground and you're zooming in. You're zooming in. You're looking across the ground, and just 6 feet above the water is the thickest part of the atmosphere. The higher up you go, the thinner it gets, the clearer it gets most of the time. And so let's say that I can see 20 miles before it starts getting too thick to see. Let's just put that I can't see any farther than 20 miles, 30 miles, whatever it is. But if I raise myself up a little bit, here's 20 miles, here's 30 miles, here's 40 miles. The higher up I get, the farther I can see. So that slope of opacity is all compressed into the horizon. And so when the sun crosses that sloped line at any point, it literally looks like it's going down below the horizon. You can demonstrate this. You can observe it. You can test it. You can recreate it, and it actually works. The thing that people don't realize is there's
in the video you see it vanish. It just
I have just go to my channel. I have a sun fade out playlist, and I caught the sun doing that 4 times with my drone on a super clear day, where it was moving and moving and moving into the distance, and then before it got eclipsed by the opaque cloud deck, it just vanished into opacity. So
as well.
The sun is let's just call it the brightest light source. I don't know if there's anything brighter. Maybe there is, but it's its own light, and that can really punch through farther than anything. But objects on the ground, objects that are not a light source, they have reflected light, which is way weaker. That reflected light can't go that far. It can't go nearly as far. We've gone out there, and I forget which video it was the other day. Somebody stitched a whole bunch of pictures together of the horizon going all the way around. And at one point they saw what they thought was an oil rig, but I think it was a sailboat, but it really doesn't matter. But you can barely see it. It's like a ghost. It wasn't too small to see. It's just like its light couldn't reach your eyeball. And that's the problem that we have is
disappearing. That's what Wise Up was talking about. You get this convergence, and with the sunlight or just that convergence, everything disappears. It's still there, but now you can't see it because it's a mirroring effect.
If people haven't seen it, just go on my DITRH channel.
Sorry, and yours.
Yeah, just go to the sun fade out playlist, and that's there. Hey, let me do a quick demonstration. So if anyone has the app, I just think this is the coolest thing ever. And if you look at the featured video today, it's from Phuket Word. He did a fantastic 35-minute presentation on perspective. Actually, just what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen it, watch his demonstration. It is super phenomenal. But I'm going to, right now, I can go in and actually change it. I'm going to change the featured video today to this Hangout. Ready? I guess I'm trying to think the delay. No, they're going to hear me on a delay. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it, but it's going to happen before everyone sees it. So let me just talk for a little bit. I'm going to change it but I think there's a 30-second delay. So I'm going to change it right now, but it's going to change on everyone's phone. Boom, it's changed. It changes that fast across the plane.
Amazing in some senses, all this tech, well, what we've got, isn't it? I'm going to look at my app now.
Yeah, go look at your app and you're going to see this Hangout.
Oh, yeah, I do. Brilliant.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun. And I tell anybody, people, if you have a fantastic video that I might want to put up there, it sure helps me if you have a good descriptive, easy to read thumbnail like today's with Nick's. I'm going to switch his back in a couple seconds because that's a great one. I also during the week I try to post shorter videos and they get a little longer towards the weekend. And so on the weekend people have more time, so I try to put a little deeper video up for the weekend to watch. And it's also fun, if you have somebody that's flat curious, basically, convince them to get the app and say, just each day, watch one video, the one video I put up each day. And it'll definitely, I think it'll, help wake people up. I've got a lot of compliments. Somebody said the whole app was worth it just to see the Dan Dimensions video that I posted because they had missed that. So I'm switching back to Phuket Words video, and boom, across the plane. Yeah. Everyone's got it.
I quite like the fact that it's a 24-hour clock, to be honest. That's one of the things I like about it.
What, the app?
Yeah, on the app that you've done it as a 24-hour clock. I like it, the fact that it's like that.
Well, you can do it either way. You go into settings, scroll down, you could pick 12/12 or 24. It's just personal preference.
I like it like that.
It still does the same job. But if somebody if Paige looks at it and she's like, hey, what time is it? And I go, it's 17:35. She's gonna have to go 12:05. That's 5. We're programmed into this 12 and 12 hour thing. I agree. 24 hours better, but you have your choice. So it's all there.
So what made you have it either way. I've asked you this before, but what made you want to make this app then?
You know what? There was a good story about it. Oh, what it was is I had saw Stinky Cash had done a video about the sun called The Sun Explained, which I have featured on this app already. And I use it all the time when somebody wants to know how the seasons work. And he made a video about it. And so I actually reached out to him and said, hey, let's make some real clocks together. I actually tried to start a business with him, but he wasn't very interested in doing it for some reason. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it myself. And hold on. I made about 60 or 70 of these clocks. Let me get the glare out of there. And people loved them. I actually didn't sell them. I ended up giving them away as gifts. I sold a couple, but I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it. They cost too much to make the way I was making them. And the comments, I did a time lapse of it not too long ago. And people said, is there any way to make the sun move up and down the hand in between the tropics? And there's really no way to do that. And then the other thing was we were looking at trying to add a moon hand, another hand to the clock that showed the position of the moon. And I wasn't even worried about the sun moving in and out. I was like, if I can add a moon hand, that's pretty good. So there is no clock mechanism that actually has that. And to prototype it is $250,000 minimum. And I just said, okay, that's off the table. And then I was like, wait a minute. I had an experience with making a card deck. I had made a funny game years ago, and I printed up the cards, and then I tested it. I printed up about 3,000 decks, and then I was like, okay, we were looking at doing huge distribution, and I was going to print a couple 100,000 decks, and you got to ship them across to everybody, and returns and damage and inventory and, and cost. And then it's like, wait a minute. I could just make an app and I have instant worldwide distribution, and I made the app, and it was a lot of fun. So I had forgotten about that. That was like, I don't know, 8-10 years ago. And so I said, wait a minute, I can do all of the functions I need on an app. And I've been working with a team in India from 11 p.m. to 9 a.m. my time, every single day for the last couple months. And that's how I did it.
And we're very pleased. I'm very sorry that you've already had like trolls in, though.
You know what? It's all right. The trolls inspire me to do more. I have to thank the trolls, because my best videos are troll inspired. The ones that are waking up the most people are from those baltards that just really don't get it. So hats off to them, because it's at this point, it's just absolutely ridiculous to think you live on a spinning rock water ball flying through space.
You also wanted to talk a little bit about, because you're doing it on Android now, is that right?
Yeah, so it is. We just released it on Android. A lot of people, I didn't realize that the market of the world is 80%, I would say, somewhere around there, Android. But the reason I did Apple first, even if I had realized that, is because I have an iPhone and I made the app for me, because I wanted it. So that's the main reason I did it. But now it's out on Android. Android, I don't want to say that Google is hiding it, suppressing it, but if you search the exact app name, it literally, if it shows up at all, it's like 120, 150 down, where you have to click more to even find it. But if you're looking for it, you can just click the link on my YouTube page on the video, or you can just search Flat Earth Sun with no spaces. If you put spaces in it, it doesn't come up. Flat Earth Sun, no spaces, and it comes right up.
I found it very easy when I put it on there myself, but yeah.
Yeah, well, people are complaining that they can't find it, and then they're like, "Well, I clicked the link on your video. That's how I found it." So it could just be a Google propagation thing. So the more people that are finding it, the easier it'll become. I mean, there's a lot of app competition out there.
And so how long did it take you to make all this, or was it quite easy because you'd already done it?
It was way harder than I thought, way more expensive than I thought. And I started about 2 months before the conference, and I'm still getting up every morning at 4 o'clock to get it finished. I'm pretty much, I got the Android's done, couple tiny little updates there. If anyone finds a bug, something that's not working, email me at info@theflatearthpodcast.com, screenshots your phone, and we'll take care of it. Any bugs that we've fixed so far. So Apple TV is working. The Android and Apple iOS are working. Next, we're doing Apple and Mac and PC screensavers for your computer. So if you want it on your computer too. So that's next.
So you're going to add to this app then? It's going to get more and more on the app.
Yeah, well, you know what? The suggestion of putting the moonrise and moonset, I think that's a really fantastic idea. I mean, once you get to really know the app, you can look at it and say, okay, the moon's about to rise. But this will give you the exact time, so you can really go look for it rather than guess. So I kind of like that, and because of the data that I'm pulling in, because I'm using dark sky for the weather, it has the sunrise and sunset, and I'm assuming they have the moonrise and moonset, so that shouldn't be an additional cost. Another thing is, the people that are complaining that they can't afford the 99 cents for the Apple TV or the $2.99, there's monthly fees along with this app. Every time you use your app and get served weather data, that's not free for me. So that's why I'm charging for it. If I make my money back on it, I'll really be thrilled. I don't know if that'll even happen.
Somebody in the chat room called We Are Change Orlando says, Dave, tell them about flat dropping, our latest flat smash.
I would like to take full credit for this, but this is Justin from We Are Change. So you know what flat smacking is. We all do that now, leaving cards around, stickers, and just flat smacking people with the app.
You're one of the biggest ones for that. Even at the conference, everybody said that you were out putting them in the people's doors. And
yeah, so I'll show you. And it's so fun to do, but the app is great for flat smacking. Then at the conference, somebody came up with the idea, they called it flat ghosting. And what they did is they got these little ice cube size MP3 speaker boxes that cheap on Amazon, just like a couple dollars. And then they took clips of me, doing flat earth interviews, and then they'll go into an elevator and toss it up in the top grading of the elevator. So when you're in an elevator, you think you're listening to music, to something on the radio, and it's talking flat earth. And it actually happened to me at the conference. I got in the elevator and I'm checking my phone. I'm like, why do I hear my voice? And it was
the elevator music.
It's actually quite genius. And then so I actually went to a Phish concert, PHISH, last night, which is at Madison Square Garden with my kids and everything. So we got 20,000 Phish heads in there, but everyone's holding their phones up. Taking pictures and stuff. You know what airdropping is?
Explain it.
You can open up pictures, and if somebody is near you in the near vicinity, you can airdrop them groups of pictures rather than emailing them or texting them. So when you airdrop somebody, it pops up on their screen and it says, "Would you like to accept this?" Whether they say yes or no, it pops up on their screen, right? And so I have a whole bunch of memes. But this is the first one, and this is the Phish logo, which I actually changed. If you look at it, it says flat, PHLAT.
Oh yeah.
And I put that, but then I have then I have a whole bunch of other memes, with instructions to go, Google Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth, 21 questions. And I'll airdrop the entire batch to them and they'll accept it. And then everyone's like in there, they're showing their friends and they're flipping through it, walking through the hallway. The biggest hit was we were leaving the garden last night. It was like midnight. And, if you've been to a big stadium, the rush out, and we're leading the pack because we were right at the tunnel. We went down all the elevators and we get to this bank of doors on 8th Avenue, like 20 doors, and they're locked. Right? They screwed up on security. And so everyone's piling in behind. And now I'm thinking like the Who concert and everyone's going to get trampled. And the guards are radioing, in like, "Hey, we need the doors open. We need the doors open." We're stuck there for like 2 minutes. So rather than panic, I loaded all the pictures, and I probably got 50 different people where I just hit everybody. And almost all of them accepted it. And then I'm just listening to the crowd and everyone's showing their friends. "Did you get this? Did you get this? Did you get this?" Wow. And now they all have 50 flat earth memes on their phones.
Courtesy of you.
Courtesy of Justin. I'll give Justin full credit on that one.
Hey, just very quickly, this question's gone back round. Joe Rigger was just asking about the temperature change from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And as he's just there in the chat room, and it's just good to repeat it, what do they have to do on the app?
So it's this simple. If you go, so right now, I have Fahrenheit. You can see my Fahrenheit temperatures. But if I just tap that, see, bam, I got centigrade. And now it seems kind of backwards, like it's saying that I'm seeing Fahrenheit, but if I want Fahrenheit, I have to hit it. Can't even see it. There you go. And it switches back and forth. It's that simple.
Very simple. So have you got that, Joe Rigger?
Right.
And whoever asked in the message.
Right. And then also, I really like, you got all these different backgrounds. So you pick a different background, whatever you like, click it, and then there's your background, whatever you're feeling,
Very nice.
And then also, if you click the daily video, just click it, it opens up the YouTube app and you flat smacked. Right. So a lot, you know, some people will complain, I've already seen that video. Well, you know what? If you're a well-researched researcher, you might see most of these things, but I'm going back. I'm getting old ones. Sometimes a new one comes out the same day. I'll put it up there because you know what? Everyone's got to see this. It helps you build your arsenal of videos and information so you can flat smack better on a daily basis. So
I think you should put this hangout on there. When the hangout's over, that picture won't be on there. I'll put a picture of you on there. There'll be a picture.
I may or may not do that. I'm very meticulous about what I put on there. I love this, Karen. I'll put this on my Facebook page.
I just meant for you to explain your app. It's about you explaining your app, isn't it? That's what this hangout's about. And
something to consider.
You do what you want. It's your app. But I'm just saying.
I literally, you know, I sometimes I'll put up one of my videos, and it's not to promote my videos. It's because that's what's going around. You know, when you're listening to the trolls, sometimes they're all talking about it's impossible for the sun to set, and it kind of permeates everywhere, where everyone's throwing out the same proof, the same, you know, debunk. So boom, I put up Nick's video, and that fully explains how sunsets happen on a flat Earth. It's not question, it's science. It's testable, observable, repeatable.
Strange, isn't it? Because, you know, like trolls, whatever, and they don't see it. And yet over Christmas, I also tried to show people, look, this sun is disappearing right in front of you. And they still just didn't. So yeah, like they should be going, what? They don't, they said nothing.
It's when you show, when somebody believes they live on a ball and you show them something that absolutely contradicts that, they just glaze over, or they'll make up something to defend their position because it has to be. Because if they truly believe something, they'll just make up something to support that belief. And then we get accused of not willing to look at anything. You know, the science is in their favor. There's no science for the ball. There's none. Everyone thinks there's tons, but there's none. It's just a religion.
Okay, then. So this app you're going to add to it. Where do you want this app to go then? Just do you know how many people have actually signed up for it already?
I don't know offhand. It's not nearly enough to pay for it. So, you know, the more people that do it, the better it is. But to be honest, I made it for me. Right? If it only cost a couple $100, I would have just done it for me, and I would have put it out there for proof for free. But it cost many thousands of dollars. Okay. So, and it's going to continue to cost. And so also the reason I may even switch the iPhone one to a only purchase, because what's going on is if you have the free version and you just keep going in and out and using the data, the weather data and the video feature, that's ringing up my tab. Okay. So, you know, it's interesting that these debunkers, these globe, zealots, they're too cheap to spend $2.99 to leave me a bad review. I've got amazing reviews on Google Play, but they won't spend the $2.99 to leave me a bad review. So that's kind of good.
Yes, well, I'm glad for you on that. Does it make a difference then, those kind of comments, or it just doesn't help with the rating, like putting you up in, like you're saying, and people have to hunt
right
for it?
Yeah, so bad rating knocks you down, makes it harder to find. And honestly, you know, you can get somebody that's like flat curious and they watch a great video and they're like, wow. And then they go to the comments, and if they're unmoderated comments and it's just a bunch of ball trolls in there, they forget everything they learned and they revert back to their ball programming. Comments can really change the effectiveness of a video. So when people accuse me of deleting any negative comments, they're absolutely right. I delete all of the unproductive comments. But if somebody wants to come in and go, hey, this is wrong because of this, and they lay out their proofs, I'll pin that comment to the top. I'll heart it, I'll pin it to the top, and I'll respond to it. But that's not what we get. We get, you're retarded, your app is retarded, this video is retarded, drink bleach and die, don't breed, you know, and those I read two letters and I don't approve those comments. So
I'm like you. I'm sorry. It's not that people can't disagree. I don't mind all that, but when you just know by the tone what they're writing, it's horrible. Retard, whatever it is. You
Right.
idiot.
Yeah, no, it's and they have nothing, you know, and then somebody that literally goes in and makes a decent negative comment, but posts it like 50 times. I delete every single one of them. Not interested. You know, I just mark them as spam, and that's it.
I didn't realize it actually cost you that much, you know, DITRH.
It was not cheap. I hope eventually I make the money back. And I will constantly improve the app as time goes on. There are some other things I want to add the Zodiac to it, but that's going to cost a ton of money. But if I get enough people buying it, I'll add the Zodiac to it, which you can turn it on and off.
Yeah, you know? I think that's like Mr. Thrive and Survive really wants people for people.life to go, but again, it's waiting for the add-ons, and the add-ons cost so much money.
I love the suggestions. I'm putting them all, you know, I've done a bunch of suggestions that people have had. Stinky Cash said, hey, why don't you put a 24-hour number system on there? And I was like, done. And I did it the next day. So, you know, I thought this was going to be done by the conference, the United States conference in Denver. But I'm still working on it daily. So a lot of fun. It's great. You know, I get up early anyway. So, I get a couple hours in, you know, working out the details, and we've come a long way.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Because obviously you've kind of showed us inside a bit what's on the app, what backgrounds you can get.
Yeah, you know, and I'm going to add some new backgrounds. I've got some ideas. But the Apple TV, I don't know how many people have Apple TV. I don't have regular TV. I just have Apple TV. It's great to have as a screensaver. It actually kind of looks good, and people like it. And you can really you don't even bring up flat earth. You got people over and they're like, you know, what is that? And you start talking, and it's a productive conversation. Amazing.
It is.
Yeah. So, I encourage people to spread the word, you know, mirror my video, you know, whatever you want to do, show it to people. Just go out and start flat smacking with it. Flat apping. Maybe that's the term. We'll call it flat apping.
Yeah. I just wondered, is anybody in the chat room got any questions for David as he's here? Dave, DITRH, take a couple of seconds for the chat room to come through.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else did I miss. Yeah, just the biggest troll things is you know, what's his name? Pussy 2060. He is kind of saying that he doesn't understand that when you look east or west, you're looking south. So when the sun, if you look at the app, and let's say you're just north of it doesn't matter where you are, and you look at the sun right now, the sun is south outside of the equator. So when that sun wraps around, it's north of you, but in reality, it's south of you. Because south is to the outside of that equator, and it's still outside that equator, even though it went back up to the top. So that's something that people really need to wrap their heads around. So here's the app, and right now the sun is outside of the equator, and so I'm right on the east coast of America. So when the sun wraps around and is, you know, past the west coast and heading out that way, that's north of me because I'm headed. It's, you know, but it's really south of me. Okay, east and west are circles. And that's that. So that's one thing. Once you understand that, you're good to go.
Yeah. Everything's hard to get your head around, isn't it, in a sense? When you're a flat earth, when you wake up and you understand it, but for a lot of people, it is a lot to wrap around the whole thing.
but you can only wrap around east and west. You can't wrap it around south.
Very good. Anyway, any questions in the chat room? Just asking chat room, are there any questions? How long did it take you to actually make this app then?
Well, I would say I'll consider it semi-finished as of yesterday, and I started in September, or beginning of September, October, November. Yeah, beginning of September.
Got a question for you.
October, November, December.
Dulone said, "What about a 3D version?"
Glad to do it. Who's got $100,000?
Is that what it would cost? Oh golly.
Yeah.
It's I just said hello to Purple Cup and his message has been deleted, so I don't know what that was about now. Sorry, I just see people come in and I'm doing two things at once. So he got deleted, whatever he said. Yeah, so it's so annoying, isn't it? Because you could do so much more if everything wasn't about money.
Yeah, well, we live in this world where things cost money, and the truth should be free. I totally agree, but so should beer. But going to a bar and see if the beer is free. That someone had to pay for that beer and pay for the place and do the effort to get you the beer. That's why you're paying for the beer. So, but the truth actually can be free because you're a flat earther. You can get the app and then you can show it to all of your friends for free and not charge them because the truth can be for free.
Yeah, all the best things are free. Talking, cuddling, kissing, the whole thing, all those are free. Well, actually, they cost you everything if you in a relationship usually, but they're free. They don't cost you money.
Yeah. So hey, so I'm gonna make I wanted to mention this, a shareable download link with all of the memes that I'll put them on my website. Jaron will probably put them on his, and I'll share that where people can download those memes onto their phone and can do flat dropping around. But be careful because Justin warned me of this. When you flat drop people, they're usually within 50 to 100 feet of you, sometimes closer. So you get caught. Like I did it at the concert and it was the kid sitting next to me first, but he didn't catch me. Unfortunately, I took my sweatshirt off and I had the fish on my shirt, but he still didn't figure it out. It was kind of funny. I was kind of hoping he would figure it out.
Yeah, my kids bought me some flat earth stuff. I can't believe it. They bought me a flat earth mug with lies on it, and I'm wearing a t-shirt now which has got that NASA logo with lies on the front of it, and I've worn it out. And they got me this great big poster. It's enormous, which needs to be framed. So my kids have bought me lots of flat earth stuff. There's a question here, and something Drummer put it in. Oh, where is it? I've lost it now. Drummer says Flat Earth Sun is the best way to find the app on Android.
Flat Earth Sun, no spaces. No spaces.
So that's good for that then. Is there anything else you want to say? Because obviously we're really great that you came on. You don't like sort of being pinned down to a time and a place, and you come on especially to talk about
that's not true. It's just sometimes I'm very busy, It's hard to always find the time.
Oh, I very much appreciate that you do, though, because we know we need another 6 hours a day, don't we? Can you make the app 6 hours longer?
You know what? I once said to myself, I said, you know what? I need more time. I need more time because I want to research more. I got more work to do. And unfortunately, or fortunately, that extra time was given to me because instead of sleeping 10 hours a night, I now sleep 4. So I gained 6 hours.
Yes.
Be careful what you ask for because you might get it.
We're called
I'm going to put in the chat. I have a shared Dropbox link for anybody that wants those memes. You can download them, and I'm gonna make a whole bunch more good ones. These are ones that I whipped together really, really quick. So I'll call them flat dropping.
App dropping.
Flat drop memes. Flat dropping memes. So there you go.
Hey.
It's in the chat. I'll put it in a couple times. So
Thank you.
So you can download them, and you know what? Feel free to make your own and email them to me, and I'll add them to the list. Anything that will grab someone's attention, don't put a ton of type on it because they're not. You want them to look at it like a billboard, see it, and be flat dropped immediate. Without choice.
So you're going to go on a few radio shows and stuff like that. You got your own podcast.
I am going to do my best. You're the first since I got the Android out.
Yeah, that's good to hear that then. Anyway, we're always here to help, and we love having you on our panel, don't we? You're part of the family.
Why, thank you. Anything else? Anyone else have any questions? I know Alex wants to know who cuts my hair, but you know what, Alex? You can. I'm not going to tell you.
I don't see that.
You'll want to go to them.
I don't see any more questions.
Good job.
We have actually asked quite a few things and covered quite a lot in the time anyway.
Right.
Because you're ready to go now on the other part, aren't you?
I am.
Android.
So check out the app yourself. Take it out, look at it. You'll see where the sun is. You'll see where the moon is. It's kind of relaxing and enjoyable to see it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's really nice, and so it's actually going there on my phone right now. Looking at it right now.
There was a problem with the iPhone 7 Plus. So if anyone's having a problem where the app isn't functioning properly, please email me info@the Flat Earth Podcast, and we'll fix that bug right out.
Hey, look, Flat Earth Dude has joined us.
Good morning.
Flat Earth Dude, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We can.
Excellent. I never know. I got a new rig microphone thing here. All right, I missed it all. Start over. Thank you for all you do, man. When's my Flat Earth toilet paper coming? Where's my Flat Earth toilet paper coming out, man? You working on that?
I think ball or toilet paper would be more appropriate since what you do with it, right?
Right. Because you know what? I'm still drinking my coffee here. See, I'm just waking up.
All right.
I was up until 4 a.m. doing what?
Playing with my app?
Yeah, playing with your app. iPhone wants me to upgrade to ISO 12, and I've been reluctant because, sometimes you upgrade and the other apps don't work, and I'm like...
I think it requires the upgrading to like 3 versions from the Go, so you don't have to update to the current. But I have it back to, I think, the 11.1. I'm not sure, but after a while, it becomes the old apps, the old versions just become unusable with the app. So I did my best to make it available to everybody.
I appreciate it. Appreciate what you're doing. It's great. Yeah, I'll probably upgrade. Maybe tomorrow or sometime. Right. Gotta have the app. Gotta have it, man.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
It's like a must-have. You can't.
It is a must-have.
It really is.
It really helps with those initial conversations and the advancing conversations where the person can look at it. It's literally, you know what it is? Here's the thing. You get it, and you're talking to the person, and you've got their interest. That's the number one. They're interested, so they're listening. So it's a little bit like hypnosis. So then you got the clock, and you go, just watch the dial, watch the clock. And as they're staring at the clock, you're pumping flat earth information into them like a hypnotist. And basically you brainwash them into realizing that the earth is flat.
Well, that is beautiful. Look at that. Hypnotizing.
Waking them up. Waking them up.
Wake up.
All I see is balls. It's all I see.
Easy.
Also, though, what you've done is, though, you put like a flat. Well, in a sense, we were talking with Dave Marsh, and he uses a lot of the apps that are given anyway as a cross-reference when he's doing his work. And the thing is that he was telling us that they are flat Earth apps anyway because they're taking all the data from flat Earth because we're flat. We know that we're a flat plane. So all the apps are flat Earth apps, but in your sense, you've put it as a flat Earth app on the App Store. So thank you very much for that.
Whenever there's a solar eclipse, though, I'm going to try to have a pop-up that says, do not stare directly at your app during these time periods, or you could go blind.
That's great.
Very good. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say, Dave?
That's it. Other than, you know, keep trying to wake up the world, because it's a crazy place that we live in. And the faster that more people wake up, the better off we'll be.
I think they're trying to make it look like we're not waking up, to be honest. I just think they are, with the way that they've done the algorithms for all flat Earth videos and things. I just think that they've tried to make sure like it's not happening when it is.
Yeah, they're coming after channels. They're giving fake strikes, and they're taking down channels. You know, so who knows? Who knows what's on the horizon? That's why I love all the activists that are saying we need to take it to the streets. They're right. Take it to the streets. Personal relationships. If everybody woke up one person every day, we'd be done in a month.
That's it. You gotta get out and talk to people. That's how I got introduced to it. So
and the videos, you know, when someone says, where did you get your information on YouTube? YouTube is just a holding place for information, and the videos that people took together are presentations. They're science videos. They've taken the time, put all the data together so you can see it in 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, rather than take months to recreate it yourself. So saying that researching on YouTube isn't research, that's nonsense. There's more information on YouTube than there are in all of the libraries combined.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, our side is a lot more scientific than the other.
For sure. They claim they have all the science, and they have none. They have absolutely none. It's amazing.
I know.
And you guys have heard it before, but I say there's three baskets: flat Earth, ball Earth, or both. Lots of things work on both. Lots of things work on the flat Earth. Nothing only works on the ball Earth. Nothing. They'll claim things do, but then you show them that they're wrong, and they refuse to look. They won't address it.
Yeah, I tried to tell my mum, and she's going, I know we're a globe. I know. Okay, that's the end of that then.
Can I get this app on my iPad?
Oh, absolutely. Hold on.
Okay. Cool. Because I go out and do the Hollywood on the street interviews, and I love having an iPad there to show them pictures. And I have your book on my iPad. I've been using that a lot.
That's good.
And, now I can put the app on there. Excellent. Dude, that's going to be so great.
Really?
That is going to be fantastic.
It's phenomenal. It's so
awesome. Because we have the Pontius model right there all lit up.
Right.
And then to have that right next to it, are you kidding me? It's gonna be
I was trying to convince
fantastic.
Chris Pontius to make his clocks 24-hour clocks, because they would be amazing. But he's got them set up as 12-hour clocks.
Right.
I love his stuff.
Oh, it's very it's eye-catching. You're out there, people walk by and see it lit up. We're usually out there at night, so it really, really sticks out. But with that and the iPad going, it's going to be absolutely a great another tool. Plus, we'll have the app on the phone, and I'm completely wireless out there now, so I can run around, chase down those NASA shirts.
Right. And I keep this on my desk as a desk clock, so it just sits on my desk like this.
Oh, beautiful.
And, it's phenomenal.
That is great.
Yeah, so right now the moon is setting for me. The sun is just past noon. It's closer to Jaron over in California. He sees a little higher than I do, but
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and that's where the moon is probably 45 degrees off your horizon right now.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it's right. It's right up there. You can't see it, but
Just asking, what was your temperature right now, DITRH?
Mine is about 47 degrees.
What, in Fahrenheit?
It's pretty warm, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, mine says
the conversion to that is 8 centigrade. You see how I did that? I did that in my head, or possibly I just hit the little conversion.
Well, mine says 49 Fahrenheit, but it's freezing here. In fact, in UK, if you turn it around, it's 11 degrees here at the moment, it's saying, which is, well, 9 Celsius. Between 9 and 11, yeah. Celsius, Fahrenheit. Oh, I've got all confused now. Why do we have to have these separate things?
They confuse us with a 12-hour clock. They confuse us with Fahrenheit and all of this stuff, and daylight savings and the Gregorian calendar. It's all to throw us off sync, so we never figure out where we are in these great cycles that are happening in the great sky clock.
I got 20 Celsius, 19.
Okay. And again, I try to say this on every podcast. If anybody here is not subscribed to the full version of Crow 777 Radio, you're missing out.
Yeah.
you need to forget this. The first hour doesn't cut it. You need to subscribe. And again, it's $5 a month. Here's what I say. Subscribe for 1 month and download all 140 episodes. Okay.
Hey, that's part of the rules, man. Even Crow said it. He goes, "Oh, that's how I've set it up."
Yeah,
and you can do it for $5. You get 140 hours of content.
You get 280 hours. 280 hours.
You get 280, but you get the extra 140.
Right, and then when you're done with those, then go back and subscribe again and download all the ones that you missed.
Right. So, $10 a year, you can be totally hooked up on every subject.
Or you could just subscribe for $5 a month and get them every week and just keep up to date and then fill up the backlog and support the guy, because I think for me, they are the most important research podcast out there.
Can't wait for his Shooting the Moon documentary to come out that Jason's putting together.
Yeah.
That's going to be fabulous.
Plus, Sun and Moon are a little bit lucky that he doesn't mind coming on our channel and telling us as well. So we are lucky that he comes.
Right. Number one podcast for me. If I had to pick one to listen to, I'm sorry, everybody else. That's it. That's the number one, and it's you just need to subscribe.
Yeah, I've been a subscriber since show number 8. So he's just amazing. The information he did like 12 hours on the moon landing. That was
the greatest series. That was the greatest run ever. I thought that was phenomenal. I loved it.
He started out I'll just do one, and then I guess it was just so popular he had to do 3 more. It was that good. So it was phenomenal information. Plus all the other stuff he did on his YouTube channel, the telescope work was first class all the way.
And yes, Bob, Glowbusters would be number 2 for me. Simply because of the amount of time and information covered. Yes, Glowbusters, of course. And then Karen, you're number 3. Sorry.
That's all right, as long as we're there.
Again, really to you can't really compare any of them. All those, just you, Glowbusters, and Crow, they're all different. They all serve different. Like Patricia's Flat Earth and other hot potatoes. That's more of an interview show to get to know the person and stuff. This show is similar in a way, but more open. With more people. Glowbusters tackles so many things. Crow, dials in on one topic a week. They're all different, and as I always say, it makes a good flat Earth soup. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
It sure does. It's more than that. We very much appreciate all you do. And chat room are saying that as well, by the way, or have been saying it during this hangout. So thank you very much. And you've drawn quite a few people because Jaren's been here, Globebusters, Patricia Steers in the chat room, Martin Leakey, and Russianovids is in the chat room.
Hey, RV, you've been listening. He put out a nice short live stream, only 7 hours the other day.
Only 7 hours.
But 3.5 at double speed. An RV at double speed, that's a drug.
Yeah.
Oh, it's much love to everyone.
It's hard to keep up with everything, but we do our best. You know, you got to like Dave said, double speed it.
Right. And here's another feature I'm adding to the app. Right next to the featured video, I'm going to have an archive button. So if you want to go back and find a video, it'll take you to our website, which will have a running playlist organized by month of all of the videos on there. So that's coming also.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Anyway, I so wish you well in with this app. I just hope that every flat earther gets the app.
Yeah, they will.
That's like 9 billion people. That would be amazing.
Yeah, a bunch of flat earthers don't even know they're flat earthers.
Yeah.
Plus, I worked out that actually probably more of the place we live on is flat Earth anyway, because all the native people don't believe in a globe. It's only America and Europe really that do. Australia,
right. And that's another thing that I'm finding more and more information. You know, people say we've known the Earth has been a globe for 500 years. Nonsense. We've been convinced to it probably right around 100 years ago is when it started.
They did it in the 1960s.
That's when it really kicked in. But you know, in the early 1900s, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Yeah, I wonder how important it was for them then, because we had permaculture, plain permaculture on the other day, and it's a bit like they had all these ecosystems and were growing vegetables in the past, but they're making it look like it's only something that we do today. And it's a bit like, what were they thinking then? Did they think, oh, are we on a ball, or did all these things go through their mind? That's what I'm thinking.
I think that it was really up for debate, but you know, the instant communication like we have today isn't out there. You know, you'd have to wait for the newspaper, you know, to come to see what's happening, and the elite, the powers that want to be, realize that's how they can control everybody through that, and then through the mind control thing that we call a television. And the internet kind of ran away from them a little bit. I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but you know, we have this ability now to talk to people across the plane instantaneously, get information out there. It's kind of interesting, but who knows what's to come. I think that we're going to have some big surprises in the next year or two.
Hey, Dave, I want to see you go out Times Square, man, and do some.
You missed. I flat smacked Madison Square Garden yesterday. I was
yesterday.
You flat dropping those memes.
Was it a hangout, or were you just?
No, I was at the Fish concert, and I airdropped hundreds of people flat Earth memes.
That is absolutely fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit more how that works for us airdroppers that are not.
For those of you that don't know, I'll explain it. I kind of went into it before, but if you just go on your iPhone, you go to your photos, pull up a photo, and you click the little icon on the bottom left-hand corner, like you're going to text it to somebody. Just that up, select all the photos that you want, put checks on them, and then any iPhones that are near you that are active, the person's name will come up, or it'll say David's iPhone, Alex's iPhone, or just iPhone or whatever, and then you tap them, and it sends them those pictures instantly.
Oh, this is too good. This is really good.
You mean like through a Bluetooth kind of way?
It's through Bluetooth, correct? Bluetooth.
Right.
It's either Bluetooth or internal Wi-Fi. So I have my Bluetooth and my Wi-Fi on. and then it just shows up, and you click it, and it pops up on their screen. And even if they don't accept it, the first one that you selected is the one that pops up. So make that one the one that's going to get their attention. I had a fish logo with Flat Earth that I sent them. I showed it to everybody, but I'll show it to you real quick. So this is the one I had yesterday that got people's attention. That's the fish logo, but it actually says flat, PHLAT, and it says Google Flat Earth, and I threw my podcast on there. So make your own, wherever you want to drive them to, but make it a short message, so when they have it on their phone, it's good to go. It'll give them an action.
Yeah, when I saw your globe there, I was watching someone else's video, and they were going, "This is a working what do you call it? What do you call a working thing? A
working model.
A working model. That's it. This is a working model. This isn't a working model."
Yeah, that was a great video. Who did that video? Does anybody remember?
I've written to him. Yeah.
Who was it?
I can't quite remember now. His name's on my phone. I've actually written to him and asked if I could mirror it. But again, he's got a lot of bits. Like he's got a helicopter on. He's got other people's work. But right. I just like that concept. This is a working model, but this.
Well, we're always told that we don't have a working model. They don't have a working model.
Exactly. That's what I always point out. It's like I can make a flat Earth model right now.
We don't have a map. They don't have a map.
Karen, give Caroline Chick a wrench.
Okay.
She's a friend of mine. Give her.
Yes.
I don't know about giving her a wrench. I don't know. Hold off on that.
Wait a minute.
Hold off on that.
Give her a lemon drop first, and then she can have a wrench.
All right, give her a wrench.
No, it's done. I'm just trying to see if I can find that person, because obviously I was watching it and I have written to them. I just like the way that they put that. This is a working model. It was a little steam engine or whatever it was, but this planet, a picture of the globe, isn't.
So what's going on for the new year? What's coming up?
Asking me? I got nothing coming up. I'm making pizzas on New Year's Eve.
They're doing pizzas. All right, that's good.
Yeah. Flat Earth pizzas, as a matter of fact.
Do some flat Earth pizzas.
I tried to make a globe pizza, but all of the toppings just fall off. It's just not easy.
I'm just putting his link in the chat.
A spherical pizza. There you go.
Yeah.
That's great. Good luck with that.
Just putting his oh, sorry. Ooh. Sorry. Oh, I'm just putting it in the chat room on my phone.
I'm going to put in the chat room the link to the memes, and I encourage people to make more and email them to me, info@theflatearthpodcast.com, and we'll create a whole bunch, and then we'll make them downloadable for everybody. So anytime you want to flat drop, you can do it.
All right.
Okay, and is this on the Android? Is it available right now, or it's happening like tomorrow or the next day or something?
What are we talking about? The app?
Yeah, your app on Android. Is it that?
No, the app is on Android now. Just search Flat Earth Sun with no spaces, and it'll come right up.
Because somebody wrote in the chat room that more people are on Android than are on iPhones.
Android is up and running. If you Flat Earth Sun, no spaces. If that doesn't work for some reason, just go to my channel, DITRH, and go to the app video, which I just posted, and the links are in there.
Sorry, I didn't.
The Android link is there.
I don't know if you heard me right. Someone was saying in the chat room that actually a load more people have Android phones than have iPhones and stuff like that. Yeah.
I agree. The Android gets their apps from the Google Play Store, and my app is in, as of yesterday, the Google Play Store. And you just search Flat Earth Sun with no spaces, and it'll come up, and you can download it for your Android.
Do you want to put the link straight in? Because obviously you've been right in front of you.
I could do that. That would be a genius idea.
Yeah, flat smack your own hangout.
There you go. I will put that in just a couple of seconds. Android, there it is.
You have a lot of energy from this. Where do you get all your energy from on 4 hours sleep? Or is it just that you so want the truth to come out and you're in it now, so you can't stop?
Distilled water.
That's right. It's changed my life just in a short period of time. It's absolutely amazing. Getting rid
right, I spammed it. There you go.
Yeah, he spammed his own hangout.
There you go.
I love it.
Yeah, he's still going for it. Look. Awesome. That's what Flat Earth Dude would say. And what else would you say about the water, Flat Earth Dude?
I went to the restaurant and I said, "Can I have a glass of bendy water, please?"
Did you get it?
No.
No,
you get it.
Yeah. Anyway, you're going to go flat smack a bit more before we go. Do you want to say anything else, David? Do you think that's enough time now? We've done an hour and a half.
I think that's enough.
So you got your Flat Earth podcast. You're still doing that, yeah?
I'm doing a Flat Earth podcast, taking a little vacation just because Glowbusters was, and I was like, hey, that's not fair. But the real reason is because Matt is getting married on New Year's Eve, and we've both been busy. So I'm sure we'll try to get one out soon after. I believe he is going on a honeymoon, so maybe I can get him to do one on the honeymoon. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that Robert.
But I am on the #1 radio show on Monday nights on TFR called Jeranism Raw. I'm co-hosting with him. So Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is probably the middle of the night for you guys. I do that show on Monday nights.
And you do that live, right?
Live.
Yeah. So we can
live.
We can bust in the chat and bust your chops a little.
You can bust into Jaren. Actually streams the first hour on his YouTube Jeranism page, and then Ginger Sugarbush 905 does the second hour.
And Zulu,
so if you want to get into a live chat there, or call in.
Yeah, definitely call in.
Call in.
All right.
All right.
We'll say goodbye off air, DITRH, but we'll say goodbye on air in a moment. But do you want to have the last words with your Sun and Moon app?
The last word is great minds do not think alike. Great minds think for themselves. So if you want to test out the app, test it out, and you will see that it works perfectly.
And it's available now.
Available now in the App Store, on Google Play and Apple TV. I mean, Apple, the Apple, whatever, the Apple Store, whatever it is, the App Store.
Well, hey, thank you so much for that. Really enjoyed it. And we so wish you well with the app anyway. And thank you, chat room, everybody in the chat room. Thank you to Kenny, Patricia, and DITRH. See you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
So long.